Good afternoon, Dunkirk and Fredonia listeners, and welcome to News at Noon. News at Noon is brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems on WCVF 88.9 and WDVL 89.5. I'm News Director Lee Pye, here today with my news assistants Joshua Ribakove, Maisie Strader, Sara Lodespoto, as well as Hunter Halterman and Sports Director Matt Volz. With this top-of-the-hour update, we'll bring you the latest on SUNY Fredonia's campus news and events, sports, weather, and music. First up, let's go to the event bulletin for this week. Join Hail Fredonia Records at your own risk for the Johnny Gruesome Movie Night. Grab snacks, participate in raffles, and get your very own Hail Fredonia Records trading card. Experience Johnny Gruesome yourself in the Williams Center MPR from 7 to 9:30 p.m. on October 14th. The campus community is invited to the interactive exhibit called Sip and Stroll, the Constitutional Amendments, located in the Reed Library. It asks participants to identify which constitutional amendments mean the most to each person. Every student who visits and interacts can win a $25 Starbucks gift card. This event is part of our Campus Constitution Day festivities and is co-sponsored by the American Democracy Project in the Reed Library. With the Reed Library, with support from the Carnahan-Jackson Humanities Fund of the Fredonia College Foundation. This event is occurring from now until September 29th in the Reed Library. That's all for Grapevines. Next up, we'll bring it to Maisie for our latest campus news updates.
If you aren't registered to vote yet, now is your chance. Today from 11 to 2, the League of Women's Voters of Chautauqua County is making voting easily accessible for students. This setup will be outside University Commons, and you can also check out registering online as long as you are a New York State resident. If you missed today, don't worry, there are 3 more registration drives in October. Friday night, there is a substitute teacher toolkit event located in the Williams Center S204 ABC from 12 to 2. The event is hosted by Teacher Education Club. Learn how to become a substitute teacher and new tips for job interviews. This is open to all majors. However, RSVP to attend using the QR code online. Then saving the best for last, congratulations to the SUNY Fredonia music students Leah Curran, Elizabeth Davis, Esther Duclair, Isabella Wall, Ashley Z, for their solos in the Western New York Chamber Orchestra concert last Saturday and Sunday. They were conducted by Glenn Cortese and performed Vivaldi's Gloria.
Thanks, Maisie. Next up, we have local news. The Southern Chautauqua manufacturing business Weber Knapp is changing owners. The president of the company, Rhonda Johnson, and the chief financial officer, Wayne Reichel, has stepped up to be the new owners of the business. At the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency meeting on Tuesday, the board approved for the $1 million loan to support the new owners for the 114-year-old company. IDA officials said in a statement, prior to this purchase, Weber Knapp was under foreign ownership and there was significant risk of the company going to relocate out of Chautauqua County or cease operations. The purchase resulted in Weber Knapp remaining in the Chautauqua County and being locally controlled. Presently, the current owners are ready to sell the company, retire, and continue the local ownership practice through Miss Johnson, and Mr. Reichel. The name Daniel A. Reed might be familiar to the region, if not because of the Reed Library on campus, then from him being in Congress from 1919 to 1959. The town of Sheridan gathered to memorialize and remember Daniel A. Reed on Saturday. Reed was born in Sheridan and had a large impact on the community, and speakers paid tribute to the congressman. Multiple bands played the Star-Spangled Banner and America the Beautiful during the ceremony. Afterwards, a reception was held at the Sheridan Historical Society building. That's it for your local news update. Let's bring it to the sports guy, Matt Volz.
Thanks, Lee. The women's soccer team returns home today to face Buff State in their annual Battle by the Lake matchup. Fredonia enters tonight's game looking to rebound from two tough SUNYAC losses in which they were outscored by a combined 9-0. Their overall record currently sits at 3-4-1, and tonight's game will kick off at 6 p.m. at University Stadium. The men's soccer team also looking for their first conference win of the season tonight as they travel to Buffalo to take on Buff State in the Battle by the Lake. The team currently sits at 4-2-3 after two conference losses. They were outscored in those games by a combined 10-1. Tonight's game is set to begin at 7 p.m. The women's tennis team is back in action this evening after 11 days off. They'll host Damon in a non-conference matchup at 5 p.m. Their current record sits at 1-5. The women's volleyball team is off until the weekend following two losses in Houghton last Saturday. The Blue Devils will begin conference play on Saturday as they host New Paltz at 6 p.m. before hosting Oneonta at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And the men's and women's cross-country teams continue to prepare for the Cara Hall Memorial Invitational, which will take place on campus this Saturday. The men's race will begin at 11 a.m., and the women's team will compete at noon. In professional sports news, the Tampa City Police are investigating the death of former NFL wide receiver Mike Williams. According to ESPN, the police department said the investigation involves, quote, unprescribed narcotics by an outside party, end quote. Williams died on September 12th following an injury he sustained while working at a construction site. A native of Buffalo and a graduate of Riverside High School, Williams was originally drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2010 before playing 9 games with the Bills in 2014. The NFL world is blowing up with rumors running rampant that Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift. Swift attended the Chiefs game on Sunday, sitting in a suite box with Kelce's mother and family. The Chiefs defeated the Bears in the game 41-10. And finally, the Buffalo Bandits released their 2023-2024 regular season schedule yesterday. They will open up the season in Albany against the Albany Firewolves at 7 p.m. on Saturday, December 9th. Their home opener and championship banner-raising ceremony is scheduled for Saturday, December 16th at 7:30 p.m. as they take on the San Diego Seals. The team looks to defend last season's NLL Cup championship, the 5th in franchise history. The Buffalo Sabres played the first home game of their preseason last night, a 4-1 win over the Boston Bruins. Forward Brandon Byro had a goal and an assist, while rookie first-round pick Zach Benson tallied an assist. Sabres goalie Devin Levi played the first 2 periods, not allowing a goal. Buffalo's preseason record improved to 2-0. They're back in action tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the annual Kraft Hockeyville game. Each year, a preseason game is played at a local community rink, and tonight is this season's game. It'll be played at the Joe Thornton Community Center in West Lorne, Ontario. And finally, the Buffalo Bills continue to prepare for this Sunday's matchup with the Miami Dolphins, and the fans of both teams have not hesitated to take shots at each other on social media this week. Several Dolphins fans have called out Bills linebacker Matt Milano for a hit on Miami quarterback Tua Tagovailoa in last year's matchup in Miami, a game the Dolphins won. Many Bills fans have fired back by referencing the fact that the Dolphins have gone more than 2 decades without winning a playoff game. Many in the local sports media outlets have said this week that Sunday's matchup carries nearly the same level of hype as the matchups between these two teams back in the 1990s when Bills Hall of Fame quarterback Jim Kelly and Dolphins quarterback Dan Marino would battle for AFC East supremacy. Sunday's game will kick off at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park at 1 p.m. on CBS. That's it for your sports update. Let's send it to Sara with the weather.
Now, here is your Northern Chautauqua weather update brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems.
Happy Wednesday, and let's talk weather. Today, with some clouds and some sun, it is a high of 71. Hold on to your hats since winds will be up to 16 miles per hour. Later tonight, it'll be 51 degrees and cloudy. Clouds upon clouds. Tomorrow we'll have more clouds and a high of 72. With clouds comes rain, and you bet it's going to start Thursday afternoon into the night. It'll be a low of 56. That's it for your 2-day weather. Keep listening, and I'll be back with you the rest of your weekend forecast. For now, let's take it back to Lee for a local music update.
Last Call Entertainment is presenting 2 bands, Asteroid Day and Dogs in Stereo, what you're hearing right now, and a solo acoustic artist, Puddle, tonight. Jam out at BJ's, located at 51 West Main Street. Doors are open at 9 p.m. and music is at 10 p.m. And on Friday, swing on over to Main Street Studios at 50 West Main Street, Fredonia, for a Fish Out of Water production who is hosting Alexander Prill, Sowboy Mani, and Jolly Cypher. For this event on September 29th, doors are at 7 p.m. and music is at 8 p.m. That's all I have in music this week. Let's bring it to Josh for national and international news.
Today, the Biden administration announced that the U.S. will be allowing Israel to enter its United States visa waiver program, allowing Israeli citizens to enter the country without visas beginning November 30th. The visa waiver program will allow citizens to travel to the U.S. for up to 90 days without having to wait months to get a visa. Part of the agreement requires Israel to end bans and restrictions on Arab Americans and Palestinian Americans from traveling to Israel. This also means access to the Ben Gurion airport and entering Israel visa-free as well. Some Palestinians and Palestinian Americans have protested Israel's entry to the waiver program, and yesterday the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee filed a suit against the Department of Homeland Security. Also today, U.S. Senator Bob Menendez and his wife Nadine Menendez arrived in court to face charges of taking bribes from 3 New Jersey businessmen. Last week, prosecutors accused the senator and his wife of accepting thousands of dollars in cash and in gold bars in exchange for using his influence to aid Egypt's government and to interfere with law enforcement investigations of the businessmen. Right now, the senator and his wife are joined in court by 2 of the businessmen, Jose Uribe and Fred Dibus. The third businessman, Wael Hanna, pleaded not guilty yesterday. This probe is the 3rd time Bob Menendez has been under investigation by federal prosecutors, though he has yet to be convicted. Over half of the U.S. Democratic senators have called on him to resign. The Federal Trade Commission and 17 state attorneys sued Amazon yesterday for illegally maintaining monopoly power, alleging that the online retail and tech company has been using its power to suffocate competitors and raise prices for both sellers and consumers. The FTC claims that the issues isn't that Amazon is so big, rather that Amazon has been engaging in exclusionary actions that prevent current competitors from growing and new competitors from developing. The complaint states, quote, "For example, Amazon has hiked so steeply the fees it charges sellers that it now reportedly takes close to half of every dollar from the typical seller that uses Amazon's fulfillment services," end quote. Although the lawsuit is not calling for an immediate breakup of the company, the FTC is calling for a court injunction to halt Amazon's predatory market practices. This could change to something more in the future. And that's all for your national and international news. Let's send it back to Sara with the rest of our weather.
Hey y'all, welcome back. With a high of 74, Friday will be pretty cloudy. Good luck looking for the harvest supermoon Friday night, since the clouds will stay for the evening with a low of 56. Finally, some nice weather this sunny Saturday. It's going to be a high of 77. The night won't be too cold either with a low of 56. Sunday is looking great too with clear skies and a high of 78. Later into the night, it'll be a low of 56. This time of the year always confuses me. Are we in sweater weather yet, or is the warm weather finally making a comeback? That's it for your weekend forecast. Let's get right back to Lee.
That'll wrap up today's edition of News at Noon. Campus News is written and read by Maisie Strader. Local news for this broadcast is prepared by Lee Pye. Weather is presented by Sara Lodespoto. Sports is presented by Matt Volz. Music is prepared by Lee Pye. National and international news is prepared by Joshua Ribakove. And finally, board operations for this broadcast are performed by Hunter Halterman. Thanks for tuning in to News at Noon. Join us every Monday and Wednesday at 12 p.m. on WCVF 88.9 and WDVL 89.5. From all of us at Fredonia Radio Systems, have a beautiful day.